Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin and how it's been affected by what's going on with Donald Trump's looming deadline for 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. They're planning on destroying Iran's power plants and bridges, which they already started doing the bridges already, but I guess later on tonight they might start attacking the power plants if they don't open up the Strait of Hormuz. Bitcoin initially took a dump earlier today. We saw Bitcoin get down into the 67K range here, but there's now talks of like last minute talks here that's now setting the price of Bitcoin up. So Bitcoin is now coming up to like 70,400 right now. Right now, get above this little downtrend line here that I pointed out here. Okay, so where could Bitcoin go next? We're going to take a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the price of oil. We'll take a look at some of your other cryptocurrency requests here. I see DZ's in the chat asking about VVV. We got a pretty long live stream coming up here, guys. I'm going to actually try to stay live until the deadline for Trump's threat to destroy the power plants comes into play here, and I might even stick around a little bit longer than that just to see what if we get any breaking news after that about what's going on in the Middle East here. But I first like to get started by looking at the price of Bitcoin here with you guys, and then I would like to look at requests here, and then we'll look at the price of oil, and we'll have plenty of time to look at a lot of things here, guys, because I plan on being live for about 4 hours here. Okay, so you guys got me for the next 4 hours until we find out what's really going on in the Middle East here. But yeah, I do see MEXC in the chat here. He says, what's up, bro? You good? I am good. And yeah, I'm glad you're here too. That makes me feel good. All right, let's get to the analysis here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin at $70,300. We did see it go down to like 67,700. Let me get into the 1 hour chart. I was in the daily chart, but let's look at the 1 hour chart. We did see earlier this morning Bitcoin drop down to that $67,700 level here, which it was getting support off of the moving averages. The 200 and 100 moving average was right there to provide some support, and it did. Okay, there was also the $67,200 level that I highlighted here that has acted as resistance in the past and should act as support since we're above it. Okay, so that was going to be the next support level for us to hold up here for Bitcoin if the price of Bitcoin was to drop down to that level. I was expecting at least a reaction off of there, but it looks like the reaction actually came like right off the moving averages on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, before we did it Uno reverse and got a nice little short squeeze, took out all the shorts. Everybody that was getting excited about shorting, I was actually shorting Solana myself. I actually took profit. I'm not gonna say I was perfect, but I did take profit when I started seeing a little bit of an Uno reverse starting to happen here. I took profit on my short, and I actually went into a long. Didn't actually I actually took profit on the long before we shot up to like even further higher levels than we are right now. But the reason why I got into a long was I was trying to hedge my profits. I didn't want to give up my profits on my Solana short. So yeah, why not? You sell high, you buy low. Okay, I know I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart, but Bitcoin's chart looks very similar to Solana's chart as well. But we can look at Solana if you guys want to look at the Solana. But I'm just telling you that I was in a Solana short. I took a long this morning on Solana. I already took profit this afternoon. I guess I could have stayed in it, but I didn't. But anyways, looking at Bitcoin, why did I make the decision to like go into a long this morning? Right. Well, let's start looking at the RSI levels here. Okay. Not really on the 1 hour time frame because we did see bearish divergence, and this is why I did get short. I shorted Solana last night. Okay, while I was on the stream with you guys. What I was seeing here was actually on like the 5-minute time frame. Okay, is the time frame I look at when I'm like day trading, especially like during the morning hours here. And I was seeing higher lows being formed here, okay, creating bullish divergence after making lower lows on the price. And also my DeluxeAlgo indicator was spotting the bullish divergence here with these green lines here, showing that this is some divergence starting to show up here. And look at this. My signals indicator, my DeluxeAlgo indicator was telling me, hey, you should go long. Okay, now we're looking at the price of Bitcoin right now, but if I go right into Solana, it probably shows the same thing. It's showing like, hey dummy, you should go long. All right. And now, I could have not go long, or I could have just took profit on my short, which I did take partial profit, but I didn't take full profit on the short. What I decided to do instead was I decided to enter a hedge long on Solana. So we're looking at Solana right now, and yeah, it paid off. It paid off because we were getting that bullish divergence. Something was changing. The tides were changing here, and then I guess around this afternoon, late morning to afternoon hours, I know this is a stream that you guys are seeing around the world here, so I'm not sure. It might have been late morning, might have been the early afternoon hours for you guys, but we got it. We started getting talks about Pakistan trying to do a 2-week ceasefire, and also asking Iran to do a opening of the Strait of Hormuz as a goodwill gesture to the United States that they're serious about, peace talks here. And that was what basically sent the market up this afternoon. That's why, Solana is now at $83 when we saw Solana down at like $78 at one point here. Okay, so that was the nice little pump that we got for the markets here. And because Solana was like so being down, if you look at the chart, look at the cryptos that I have off in my watch list here, you can see that Solana is actually up the most out of the big three or the big four. Out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, Solana is actually up higher because it was taking the biggest beat down. It was looking like really good for a short, and it was one of the reasons why I got into a short. But also, the bullish divergence was telling me that something was cooking, and that we should probably look for a hedge long, maybe take profit on the short. And that's what I did early this morning. Let's see. Bruno says long oil or short it. Now are the oil markets trading again? We're at $108. We took another steep drop. Damn. Okay, yeah. I would say worth maybe taking a long for an oversold drop here on oil. This leads me to believe I might have got stopped out on some of my oil contracts that I had here. So yeah, that's I would be looking for an oversold, just a small partial position. I wouldn't actually go full tilt, full into it, okay, until you start seeing maybe some bullish divergence showing up. But I don't think we're getting that just yet here on crude oil. Okay, I know DZ, you put in a request here, but I just had this guy just ask me now, like long oil or short oil, and I felt like I could just answer his question real quick here. But yeah, are we getting bullish divergence on oil? Well, we had an oversold low here on Tuesday. Was today? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Yeah, we had an oversold low here Tuesday morning, right? I can't remember my days. Yesterday was Monday, right? I gotta look at my calendar again. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Okay. All right. So, this could, if we start going lower than what we have on the RSI here, we could possibly see potential of a higher low here, and then see maybe an oversold bounce on oil right now. But yeah, I think it's worth taking a shot trying to do it. Look at this; it's already getting some green candles here on the 5-minute time frame for oil, where someone's trying to take a shot here on oil. I think oil, if it does come down further, this blue level here at $107, that is a Fibonacci level to be looking out for. That is where I would definitely try to take a shot at least putting some small position on long in oil right now, because we just don't know. We're hearing talks of negotiations, but we haven't heard anything yet that they're actually going to do a ceasefire. So I still think, if we see a lot of action later on tonight with power plants getting blown up in the Middle East here in Iran, and you're going to see oil start spiking up again one more time. All right, now getting into requests, we pretty much covered oil. We can look at oil again, but let me get into one of the requests here from DZ. He asked for VVV, And after I look at VVV, I'm going to try to see if I can get into a long on oil here on MEXC Exchange. Excuse me. All right, so let's look at VVV on the daily time frame here, and then we'll probably go into the 1 hour time frame. VVV. What did you do, VVV? Let me get rid of some of the indicators on the bottom. But you came up to the 786 retracement. You were looking fine and dandy, and then what? Yesterday you just got a red candle, and I think that was because of Donald Trump's threats about blowing up power plants and whatnot. Okay, and then on top of that, you know, we did have a symmetrical triangle that we were forming here on VVV, and this was good to see that we broke out of the symmetrical triangle. But look, we came back, we retested the symmetrical triangle one more time here. Okay. And I think, you know, if we are going to get a ceasefire, then you'll see this thing rocket higher, because there shouldn't be any more pressure from oil and people not being able to afford to put money in their gas tank, never mind trying to buy crypto. If people can afford to put money in their gas tank to go to work, and they're able to have a little extra money to buy some crypto, then I think VVV should at least get back up to $8.50 like you saw back here on March 2nd. Okay, but you know, that would be the next target to the upside, because we're already at $7 here for VVV. Downside, you know, if Donald Trump goes through with blowing up power plants in the Middle East, and then Iran retaliates by blowing up power plants in Israel and other nearby countries, then you're going to see this thing just roll over, probably peel over and die. and probably at least head to at least a 618. Now, I don't want to laugh too hard, but you know, it could just roll over here, come to this golden pocket as your first area of support at $5.90 here. And after that, I mean, if you're not going to hold $5.90, then I mean, there's the 0.5 retracement at $5.10. I'm not sure if that's going to hold that support. I think it did, you know, back here on March 9th. And we stayed at like $4.99 there. That's as low as we got. But if we can't hold that, then, you know, down, I think at the 50-day moving average, which is confluent with the 0.382 at $4.28, that should be the level that, you know, would be, I would say, a target if you're going to try to short, or an area where you could try to take a long and add to your spot bags if that's what you're doing here with VVV. I'm not sure what you're trying to do with VVV. I don't know if you got spot bags. I don't know if you're just day trading it with leverage and you don't really care what the future is for this coin. But, you know, I would say X marks the spot at like $4.20 here with a 0.32 retracement, and also that 50-day moving average just kind of hanging out at. So I'd be looking for that for VVV. I didn't really give you upside targets besides $8.58, but if we can get past that, then there is a 1272 Fibonacci level at $10.47. I would be looking for that for VVV. All right, let me get back into the chat here. Looks like my TikTok guys are a little bit chatty right now. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Daimol Sen says, brother, please show me XRP. And then A. Bruno says, for spot trading, you need more capital to start. What were we talking about here? Why would you need more capital? A. Bruno says, 10x leverage. Okay, let's see. We got another guy says, can I check Filecoin? All right, so we got a request for Filecoin. And the other one was XRP. All right, Filecoin did come in before XRP, just letting you know. But we will get to it. I actually want to play this potential oversold bounce on oil here. Let me see if I can get into oil long. Right now, let's just look at oil real quick one more time here. On the 5-minute time frame, we're getting the beginnings of a bounce, kind of, sort of, but I would try to buy more at $107 if I can. I think that's where we might get some support for oil right now. Let me just look at the 15-minute time frame, see if there's any moving averages that could provide support at that area. Looks like we already came here to the 1 hour time frame. We came down to the 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame for oil. So let me go ahead and try to play that, guys, real quick here. You know, try to make some money while I'm also talking to you guys and looking at your coins here. So let's try that. Here on MEXC Exchange is one of my favorite exchanges to trade crypto and oil. And you could trade oil for free here on MEXC Exchange. I don't think you can do that with the CME futures here, but you can do that here with MEXC. They want traders to start trading on their platform here. Wow, we actually got down to 105 here on MEXC, so I think that's where I'm going to put my stop loss for now if I can. I'm just going to market order this one. And how much do I want to put in? For margin, I think $50 a margin. Normally I would do like a $100 position, but I just don't know if this is the bottom or not. I don't want to risk too much. So here we are. We're going to try to take some. We're going to see take profit. I think, you know, we could see oil get back up to the highs of the day. We did see like $116 oil, so maybe I'll just try to front run that by $114. And then stop loss. Stop loss is going to be at 104.9, just below the. Yeah. Now let me see. Does that make sense? That's like kind of like a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. We're gonna lose $9 and possibly get $27 if we get back up to 114 here. I think that's worth taking a shot. So I mean, not big money. You know, we'll see. I can always add to the position, but yeah, we'll come back to this later. See if I want to add to the long here on oil. And I think that went through. It shows that I got in on oil at $107.25 here. Doing an 8x long is what I'm using for leverage here. And my take profit at 114, my stop loss at 104.9. Let's see. DZ says we're going to get a pump leading to the 5 p.m. Pacific time announcement, then a dump. Maybe. I don't know. You say 5 p.m. Pacific, but I'm sticking to 8 p.m. Eastern time is how I remember that. That's the time that we got to be looking for. So I'll be live up until that time. I actually got to reset the music here. Let me go ahead and reset the music here real quick here. We lost my music there for a second. All right, so let's get back into the requests here. We got to take a look at Filecoin. I just entered a trade on oil, trying to long it. Trying to see if I could play an oversold bounce on that. Filecoin, what is Filecoin doing? We're now looking at Filecoin, currently trading at 89 cents. It's up 4.5% today. We're looking at the 1 hour time frame. I don't know if you want to look at the 1 hour or the daily time frame. Let's look at the daily time frame and see what the bigger picture view is for this one. And you're down and to the right. Like a lot of cryptocurrencies here, just, you know, being useless and not holding your value. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this previous Fibonacci analysis here. But Filecoin, I mean, when were your best days? Your best days were like back here in December of 2024. Of course, that was like the peak of the altcoin season, or one of the peaks. And right now, you're just looking lackluster. You're 89 cents here. However, you know, you are doing something kind of okay here. You're getting above the 21 EMA. That's your first step to trying to be bullish. Then the next step is to try to get above the 50-day, which is above you, and the 100-day, and then the 200-day. Okay, because you're below all these moving averages, you're bearish. When this thing was below the 21 exponential moving average on the daily time frame, this thing was extremely bearish. Okay, so you're kind of flirting with being extremely bearish and just really bearish, very bearish. Okay, because you got above the 21 EMA, this is the start of something. If you can get above the 21 EMA, maybe use it as support, bounce off, and try to get up to that 50-day moving average. Then we might be talking business here as to like trying to make some money on Filecoin here. But I'm just worried that this is just going to be another fake out above the 21 EMA, kind of like you had here in the middle of March. And then also another fake out towards the end of February, where they got above, we got above the 21 EMA back in February, and we only stayed there for like maybe a week or two, and then we lost it. And we got above it, stayed above it for like maybe a few days, and then we lost it. Is the same thing going to repeat again, where we get above it for a few more days, and then we just lose it again? 21 EMA is sitting at 86 cents here. We got to stay above that. Okay. I see we got Laureen in the chat. Good to see you, Laureen. Glad to see you make it into the live stream. I will be here for like 4 hours. I'm glad you're able to make it. I know it's a little bit late where you're at. What is it like? You're like 5 hours ahead of me. Like it's like 9 p.m. maybe. I didn't think I kind of started off a little bit early than I've been starting off at. You know, right now it's like 4 p.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. And I'll be live for like the next 3.5 hours, probably 4 hours. But we'll stay alive a little bit after Donald Trump makes his decision and his deadline passes. But yeah, it's almost midnight in Ireland. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's almost like 11 o'clock your time, right? A Bruno says, on MEXC, do you need KYC? You do not have to do KYC on MEXC, but you do need to be in a country of origin where they do business with those customers. So if you're in America or Canada, MEXC won't really let you trade on their platform. However, there is a way to get around that, and that's with a VPN. If you use a VPN, you can still trade on MEXC. But if you don't do KYC, then you can't really put too much money on MEXC. So it is advisable to do KYC. You want to trade with more money on MEXC account. But just like any other cryptocurrency exchange, you don't really want to put too much money on there. So just keep that in mind that maybe the limits are probably good for you to hold on to, because these cryptocurrency exchanges, although MEXC is one of the good ones, I believe, they can still go bankrupt. They can still get hacked. We saw Bybit get hacked last year, and then like a few years ago we saw FTX go bankrupt. So maybe having too much money on an exchange is not the best thing to do, especially if it's spot. If you're just buying spot, you should take your spot and put it onto a hardware cold storage wallet, okay, and take it off the exchange. I mean, you've probably heard that. If you've been in cryptocurrency world, you probably know that you should be taking your crypto off the exchange as soon as you can and as much as you can. All right, but getting back to Filecoin, let me just finish off on the analysis here. Do we see anything that makes us kind of bullish here on Filecoin? It's kind of sort of. I do see like some higher lows being formed here on the RSI after making lower lows on the price. You got a little bit of bullish divergence forming here, okay? That's the beginning of trying to bottom out here. Next thing I want to do, I want to see higher lows and higher highs. I want to see an uptrend, okay? We got to get above the highs back here on March 16th and also the high back here on February 25th when this thing got up to like $1.10. I don't think that's too much to ask for because Filecoin is already at 90 cents. But I mean, that's something that we need to start doing to kind of change the story about this thing. This thing continues to go down and to the right. How about we do something different? How about we go up and to the right? I want to see something like that for Filecoin. But yeah, I think you could see something here. Like buyers are showing up to the plate. There is bullish divergence forming here on Filecoin on the daily time frame. Maybe Filecoin is trying to bottom out here. Okay, moving on from Filecoin, we'll take a look at XRP now. Was the next request here. XRP currently trading at $1.34, up 1.5% today. And what do we got here for XRP? We're on the daily chart for XRP. XRP kind of been acting like a stable coin like it did a few years ago, just going sideways, not really doing anything remarkable or worth writing home the bomb about. However, I feel like if XRP can get above this 21 EMA sitting at $1.36, which is only 2 cents away, if it can get above that 21 EMA, maybe we can gap up and actually go up to this 50-day moving average sitting at $1.60. That's the next target for XRP, in my opinion, is that 50-day moving average, this green line at $1.60. Okay, so add that to your chart, put that as your take profit target for now. XRP could get up to like 30 cents higher than where it is right now, is what I'm looking at. Then after that, there is the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. There are going to be problems here. That's at $1.75 for the 100-day moving average and $1.97 for the 200-day moving average. What wants to take a look at Zcash? It's booming hard. Yeah, I saw Zcash was doing that while the rest of the cryptocurrencies were dropping like a rock this morning. But then later on this morning and this afternoon, we did see that these cryptocurrencies, besides Zcash, start booming up as well. So it's not just Zcash, but I'm a little curious to see what Zcash has done. Maybe it still is booming harder. A Bruno says you try to deposit fiat on MEXC, but you need you need KYC. Yeah, if you're trying to actually put actual fiat currency and not using like Tether or another crypto, they're gonna want to know who you are because they got to stick to the rules and regulations. But if you want to get around that, then you should just send crypto. Send you know, if you don't want to use Bitcoin or Solana or XRP, you should use like Tether, to US dollar Tether, to send that to MEXC, and I don't think they'll hit you with the KYC on that. But you know, I don't know. You tell me and let me know if that works out. I usually just send Tether to MEXC. I don't actually send fiat. I never dealt with fiat on MEXC Exchange myself. So if you're doing that, you have to actually tell me how that works out for you, because I never actually done fiat. I don't feel the need to do fiat on MEXC and these other cryptocurrency exchanges, besides, you know, the one that I actually want to use to you know, send money to the bank. And that's the reason why they're asking you, is because they want to know if you're taking money from your bank, who the hell are you and why are you putting it onto a cryptocurrency exchange? If you can answer that question for them, then they'll let you play ball. If you're not going to answer that question for them, they're not going to let you play ball. Because once you get access to fiat, then that means you can take that money and bring it to a bank, to wherever you want to go. Ooh, wow, okay, so my oil stop loss just got triggered. Damn it! So oil's still going down here to lower prices. Jeez, well, how much lower are we going? We're just dropping like a rock here. Did they actually do a trade? I'm sorry, not a trade deal. Did they actually do like a peace deal here? Because oil's acting like we're about to get some peace here. So maybe I have to try again later to see if I can get into a long on oil. Let's see. AB says, what do I recommend to learn trading best? And then Bitcoin says altcoins are still dead. Hey, Bruno's like, stop loss question mark. Yeah, I use a stop loss so I don't lose too much money on my trades here. So that probably means I'm getting blown out on my stop loss on Coinbase for oil. I just want to see how bad things are. Bear with me for 1 second here, guys. We'll still look at XRP here, and then we'll look at Zcash. But I want to just take a look at something here real quick on my phone. All right, I'm back with you guys. Yeah, I got stopped out on my my oil longs on Coinbase. Oh man, I guess we're getting peace and not. But you know, what Trump was saying earlier, you know, today and yesterday, these last couple of days, was very negative and crazy rhetoric. And it's like, are you really gonna do the things that you say you're gonna do? Some of the things he was talking about is some people will call a war crime. You're not allowed to attack civilian power plants unless it's connected to a military base or something that's related to the military. Because I mean, that's not how you win a war. You don't win a war by blowing up power plants. All it does is punish the civilians for no reason. Anyways, yeah, let's get back into it here. We're looking at XRP. I already gave you the upside targets here. Now, if XRP is gonna just drop like a rock because Donald Trump decides to blow some power plants later on tonight, then I think we got the $1.11 level here is a level to look out for support. This is a level that we used as support back here on Thursday and Friday of February 5th and February 6th. But looking back and looking left, you know, $1.11 is an area that we were using as support back here in November of 2024. You did some sideways trading action at that level, so I think $1.11 is where we come down to initially for the next target to the downside for XRP. All right, so that's XRP. I gave you upside targets, $1.60, downside target, $1.11. Let's move on to Zcash now. And then I think at the Zcash, I want to see what the news is, because maybe there is some good positive news coming out. The markets are acting like either Donald Trump is not going to do what he said he's going to do, or we're actually going to get a peace deal here. And if we got a peace deal, I kind of want to know, like, you know, that's big news if we're actually going to get like a ceasefire here. Zcash for today up 25%. Look at that, guys, up 25%. That's crazy, huh? And again, nice solid green bullish engulfing candle here. However, you are coming up against the moving average resistance. You got the 50-day moving average that could act as resistance at 303. We kind of pushed right past that. And now the moving average right above us, the 200-day moving average, could act as resistance at 329. We kind of came close to that today. We came up to like 319 here on Zcash. All right, so I think the move has already been made on Zcash. I'm not sure if anybody could have predicted that we would just jump up like this. There probably was like maybe some bullish divergence or something that was about to play out here, and it did. But now I am curious. Like, I do see it here. There was bullish divergence right over here. Okay, saying that buyers were stepping in, trying to buy Zcash at $200 here. But let me just spot it out here by showing the RSI here. So the RSI was showing that there were higher lows trying to be formed here towards the beginning of March here, after making lower lows on the price. And then you just kept on making higher lows here on Zcash. And I guess it just got to the point where, you know, something needed to give, and the shorts got squeezed out. They got squeezed out today, it looks like. And I keep getting notifications. Is there any news, guys, about a ceasefire or something like that? Or did Donald Trump like extend his deadline or something? I think that's what's going on right now in the markets. Anyways, looks like Zcash is back near the highs for the day. We're at 318. We saw 319.99 earlier today. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, you're above all the moving averages, so you're very bullish here. And you got that long signal indicator that just came in around 10 a.m. my time here. That's about like 6 hours ago. We got a long signal firing off here from the DeluxeAlgo indicator. Sure enough, you are definitely taking advantage. If you saw that long, you took that long, you are benefiting from taking that long on the 1 hour time frame here. However, look at this, you know, your days might be numbered here, or I should say maybe your hours, because we're looking at the 1 hour time frame. You are very overbought here on the 1 hour time frame for Zcash. You're at 89 on the RSI. Anything above 70 is considered overbought, and 89 is just really pushing your luck here. So maybe Zcash might actually be a good short if Donald Trump actually decides to destroy Iran's power plants later on tonight. This might be one that is, yeah, it's up 25% right now, but maybe it's going to be back to break even again, or below that, you know, later on tonight. So I'd be eyeballing this one for potential short if Donald Trump actually starts attacking power plants with the military, with the U.S. military. All right, let's see. What do we got here, DZ? DZ says, yeah, markets are moving. You're going to sell your VVV. He said market's going to dump after Trump starts talking. I don't think Trump is doing an announcement. I think he's avoiding the news media today. He hasn't had any exposure to the news media. And look at this. Zcash is already down like $6 after like it was at 318 like what, 2 minutes ago. Now we're at 312. So anyways, let me get into the chat here on TikTok and see what you guys are saying here. Crypto's on next. He knows everything. I doubt it, but he might act like he knows everything. I don't try to pretend like I act like I know everything, because I really don't. I really don't know everything, but I try my best to try to figure things out here on the charts with you guys. But maybe I should act like I know everything, huh? Then maybe I might get a few more likes, a few more followers, a few more subscribers. Pretend like I'm a crypto stock guru here. Let's see. Zan Sivant, I'm not sure how to say your name, but you have a request for WXT. I believe that is the WEEX token. So we'll take a look at WXT for you guys. I kind of want to look at the news. I'm a little bit curious, like, why is everything like so bullish right now all of a sudden, and why is oil just dumping down? Like, looks like oil wants to go below $100 a barrel. Like, what the hell? Did we get a peace deal here? I want to search this up. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Ceasefire. Let's just see if they did a ceasefire. It says Pakistan proposes a ceasefire in Iran as deadline looms. That was like 36 minutes ago. And then U.S. oil prices fall 4% on hope for a last-minute ceasefire as Trump. So this is all like hope and rumors. Like, so this is looking like we could either get, we could either long oil, and I'm probably short crypto again. If we're not going to get a last-minute peace deal here. It says traders are closely watching oil prices as President Donald Trump's 8 p.m. Eastern Time deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz approach. Trump has vowed to bomb Iran's power plants and bridges if Tehran doesn't meet the deadline. Tuesday afternoon, Pakistan's Prime Minister asked Trump to postpone his deadline for 2 weeks, also asked Iran to reopen the strait for 2 weeks as a gesture of goodwill. And it says West Texas Intermediate oil prices for May delivery fell about 4% to $108 a barrel around 6:18 p.m. Trump has vowed to bomb every bridge and power plant in Iran if its leaders do not meet his 8 p.m. deadline. So we only got like less than an hour and a half to go here, guys. Are they going to pull something out of their butt and do a little ceasefire? Is Trump going to extend his deadline? Are we going to get a ceasefire here? I don't know. But last time I heard that the Iranians are not even talking to the Americans anymore. They're kind of like, game on, let's go. And they're starting to put their people around the power plants. They're like trying to use their own civilians as human shields around their power plants. Like, they're asking volunteers to do it. They're not like forcing people. That'd be crazy if they did, because I think the people are already pissed off at their own government over there. But yeah, they're asking volunteers to like just hang out near the power plants, and if the United States carries through with it, there's going to be some people getting hurt, and they actually want that. Lorraine says double top on Zcash. I don't know about that. Double top. Talking about just from the daily candles here. Like we topped out at 319. I mean, this is a 1 hour chart. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really call that. That's too close for the candles to be right next to each other. Maybe if we looked at it on the 15-minute chart, it kind of looks like that. But no, a double top. We barely even dropped to even make a double top. But if you want to call it a double top, you call it a double top. Yeah, if that's what you want to do, call it a double top. Maybe on the 5-minute chart, kind of looks like something like a double top. Maybe. I would say maybe. If you want to call it a double top, we'll call it a double top. All right, let's move on to a WXT here. Just remember, on the smaller time frames, and we had to go into the smaller time frames to spot that double top. On the smaller time frames, they don't really hold that much weight. Add to like a bigger time frame, like a daily time frame or a weekly time frame. If you saw a double top on a daily or a weekly time frame, that's more scary because that usually holds a lot of weight to it, and it usually plays out as a double top. All right, so we're looking at the WEEX token. What is WEEX doing there? On the 5-minute chart, it's climbing. But here on the daily time frame, ooh, we just saw the double top. How about a double bottom? We see a possible double bottom. I see a possible double bottom here for WEEX. Maybe. WEEX token is currently trading at 0.019 pennies, just shy of 2 pennies, up 4.4% today. Yeah, below the 21 EMA, which is extremely bearish, because that also means you're also below the 50, the 100, and the 200. Yeah, you are below all these moving averages. You're very bearish. You're in a bear market on this token here. Seeing some of your best days here in September of 2025 when you saw this thing at like 4 cents. You got to get yourself like nice little 50% haircut. I'm just zooming out just to get an idea of like what the bigger picture is for for weeks. But yeah, we climbed up as high as like, did we get as high as like 5 cents? No, 4.5 cents maybe. Yeah, 4.5 cents. Now you're trading at 2 cents. Or just shy of 2 cents. However, if this is a double bottom, because I already spotted that by looking at the chart here, if this is a double bottom, right? And this has a little more credence to it, Lorraine, because this is on the daily time frame, so this might actually play out as a double bottom. If this is a double bottom, you just measure from where the bottoms are at to the top in between the two bottoms. So you get your left bottom and your right bottom here. Some people might say that's your left butt cheek and your right butt cheek. And you just take those double bottoms, right? You just take that measure move from the double bottoms. You put this measure move on top of the top in between the two bottoms here. Oh man! And then it ends up. You could see the measure move play out where this thing could climb up to that blue number there, that 2.5 cent number there. And I've been saying bottoms and tops here. What are we talking about here? I thought we were talking about crypto. Or do we need to get my head out of the gutter here? Let me ask, would you rather prefer to be a top or a bottom? Maybe I should make that a I should make that a poll here. Make that a poll on YouTube here. Do you prefer double bottoms or do you prefer double tops? Do you prefer to be a double bottom or do you prefer to be a double top? Anyways, enough jokes aside here. Let's see what we have here for the indicators below us. Are we doing anything remarkable here with the RSI? Yeah, you got oversold here, back here in early February. RSI was as low as like 21. RSI is steadily climbing up after you kind of made a low. I mean, was this a lower low? Because if it is, that is screaming bullish divergence. Let's see, the low here on Tuesday came down to like 0.018 pennies here. 0.0183, 0.0182. Oh no, you are actually just barely creating a higher low here. But I mean, this is still good to see that the RSI is trying to make an uptrend. You're trying to make an uptrend on the daily time frame here. What I'm spotting here is just basically a double bottom. I mean, think about the guy who bought here. He did a round trip. He's just back at break even again. He's not going to sell unless, you know, this guy probably put a stop loss below the wick over here. So if we came and broke that stop loss, then this thing might go, you know, down to hell here. Yeah, I think, you know, we got some work to do here with WEEX token, WXT. We got to get up to that 21 EMA at 19.199 pennies, almost 2 pennies, and then, you know, I could see that we could gap up just like we gapped down here. Like we gapped down for some reason on Saturday, January 31st. Like, you know, going into February 4th. What happened here? Did we just stop trading this token that week? That's weird. We just gapped down and this wasn't trading for like 3 days there. Let's see. Saturday. Yeah, why? This is a cryptocurrency exchange. They always trade it. Why would WEEX token not be trading on WEEX exchange? I don't get it. But for some reason you got a gap down here, and maybe you can get a gap up for some reason. And get right up to that 3-day moving average, sitting at the 0.026 pennies is where I would be targeting for WEEX for some take profit here. A Bruno says, are you honestly buying? Are you really trusting Trump? I mean, trusting what? Trusting that Trump is going to actually carry out his threats and blow up those power plants? Trusting that he's not going to do it? Like, what do you mean? What do I trust? I mean, I've seen Trump say some pretty ridiculous, violent talk and rhetoric on his Truth Social, and it makes me think like something's really getting to him. He's getting really frustrated, and he's going off the rails right now. And I think he might actually do it, to be honest. I don't think he wants to do it, so maybe we are going to get something in the next hour. It's only 1 more hour until like this deadline moves, and if he doesn't carry through with it, then he looks bad too, because then that means his deadlines and his threats mean nothing, and I don't think he wants that either. So we only got 1 hour to figure out which way we're going with this, guys. Just 1 more hour here, right? Am I right, or is it 2 hours? It's 5 p.m. here. Yeah, because like, I mean, it's about to be 5 p.m. here, so 6 p.m. I'm in Mountain Time here. So 8 p.m. Eastern Time, that's like, that's an hour from now. Hour and 10 minutes from now. So I think he might actually do it. Oh, wait, they just came out with some news that they suspended it, Laureen? I gotta look that up. Did something just happen here in the news? Oh, wait. Oh, I just saw the headline right there. It was rolling there. So Trump suspends Iran attack for 2 weeks, subject to Hormuz Strait opening. Did Trump actually get what he wanted? Are they gonna open up the Strait of Hormuz? It says President Trump pauses as he finishes speaking about the Iran war from the cross hall of the White House on Wednesday, April 1st. Donald Trump on Tuesday said he agreed to suspend planned attacks on Iranian infrastructure for 2 weeks. The move was subject to Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. The announcement came less than 2 hours before he imposed his deadline on Iran to either make a deal that includes open the Strait of Hormuz or face major attacks. Trump wrote on Truth Social he made the decision based on conversations with the Prime Minister of Pakistan. This is breaking news. So there you go, guys. We're not getting power plant day today. It shows that the Dow futures are up 700 points and oil is tumbling. Let's look at that article right there. Dow futures jumped 700 points on oil tumbling after Trump suspends Iran attacks for 2 weeks. U.S. stock futures jumped after President Trump said he was suspending Iran attacks for 2 weeks just ahead of his 8 p.m. deadline, pausing a 5-week conflict that has caused a crucial waterway for global energy supply. West Texas Intermediate slid 9% down to about $102 a barrel following Trump's declaration. So I mean, guys, what do you think? Is this Trump tacoing again? Did Iran actually agree to this? Because, like, where is it on writing and paper? Where is that? What is Iran's take? Is the spokesperson of Iran going to? I mean. There's a lot of questions here. But this is just between Iran. I mean, this is between the United States and Pakistan. Is Iran actually not going to blow up the Strait of Hormuz and collect $2 million per a tanker going through the Strait of Hormuz? All right. Oof. Yep, it just goes on here to say Trump agreed in a Truth Social post on Tuesday that he agreed to suspend attacks for 2 weeks following conversations with Pakistan officials. But what about Iran? Like, is Iran going to actually like do a ceasefire? We're still up in the air on this one. They said that they received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. And of course, stock futures are jumping up. And let's see. There's oil. Oil dropping down below $100 a barrel here on MEXC Exchange. I took a little oversold. I tried to buy at 107, and I got stopped out at 100 and. Oh damn! They took it down to $104. I put my stop loss. I think it. Oh yeah, that's right. I put my stop loss at $104.90. So yeah, I lost a couple bucks on that oil long there. Where are we getting too bullish? I mean, too bearish. Because now look at this. Bitcoin is up 71K now. Solana is at 84 bucks. XRP's at $1.36. Ethereum's at 21.96. Oh, okay. Let's see what crypto do we want to get into for long here, guys? Because I think we're now going to try to be bullish here. Maybe Bitcoin actually goes back up to 76K again. Maybe Ethereum goes up to like $2,500 at some point here. Geez, which one do I want to get into? I might as well just get into a long on Solana again, right? I was shorting Solana earlier this morning, and then I took some profit on the Solana short, and then I got into a Solana long, not knowing that. I mean, I knew there was a possibility that there could have been a ceasefire, that Trump could have extended. We didn't get a ceasefire. We got Trump extending a pause, and maybe we might get a ceasefire, but the ceasefire is dependent upon, does Iran actually agree to those terms? And are they actually going to stick to them? Still dicey, still a rocky market, and we are still in a war with Iran. Iran is still at war with the United States and Israel. All right, so let's look at Solana here for potential long. I mean, I might as well just ride this trend. The chart's already showing here on the 5-minute time frame that it's time to long, to get into it. And I doubt it's going to be like, you know, I mean, what else could be said here? Does Iran just an hour from now say, hell no, we don't agree to those terms? That's the only way I can see like the market's falling apart here. So anyways, let's get into about $100 of margin here. Is what I'm going to try to put in with a 20x long on Solana. And this is a market buy order. I don't even know my levels to the upside. I think we could at least go up another 10 bucks here for now. And then stop loss is going to be, Jesus, maybe the 15 moving average. Maybe at 80, I could try 82 bucks here. I'll lose 72 bucks. No, let's try 83 bucks here. I'll still lose about like 46 bucks. Man, I hate doing this, trying to just play an overly bullish buy on the top of a green candle. This is not the way I want to teach you guys how to trade here, but I mean, it is up and to the right, and we just got some really good news here. I should wait until we get at least a red candle or at least a pullback to a moving average or something. Look at this, huh? This is just nuts. Punishing anybody who's short. Kind of punishing anybody who's not in a trade or not in it. I got to bring this to like 84 bucks here. See? All right, let's try it. 84 will be the stop loss. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. What did they get me in at? Oh, they got me at a pretty decent price, 84.97. Stop loss at 84 bucks. Already up 2.8% on that 20x long. Oh god. This is where it kind of becomes a little bit too easy to make money. Just long in the momentum, long in the uptrend here. But hey, I'll take it. If they're gonna make it that easy, I'll take it. Bruno says, you don't believe Trump, no deal coming, all in cash, let's short the market. Well, Trump says that's what he's trying to do. And I think Trump was looking for a way out. I think he's been looking for a way out. I think he bit a little bit more than he could chew on attacking Iran. I don't think it was even his idea. It was like Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's idea to attack Iran. And he just went with it because I think they scared him into thinking that Iran's going to attack the United States anyways, which they probably would have. But, you know, they also attacked their neighbors as well. So, I mean, I think it would have looked better in the public eye's perspective if, I mean, it would have been unfortunate, but if Trump and the military suspected that Iran was going to attack the United States, if Israel attacked first, then they should have just, you know, put their defensive positions, have like their missile launchers, their Patriot missiles ready to go to shoot down any missiles and drones and rockets. I think if Israel attacked Iran first, then Iran would have, they would have sent most of their missiles and rockets to Israel, and then maybe they might have sent some of them to the United States. But then if they did it, you know, not to the United States, but the United States military bases, but if they attacked the United States military bases, that would have gave us more reason to go to battle with Iran, and it would have got more American people on board with, you know, the war that we're in right now. But I mean, it's kind of messed up that Israel was going to attack them anyways, whether the United States was going to do it with them or without them, because it's like Benjamin Netanyahu basically dragged us into a war. He basically dragged the United States and our military into a war. But instead, Trump decided to go along with the plan, like, hey, we're actually going to do a decapitation strike and actually take out their leaders, and maybe they'll give up on the day one, which they tried, and that didn't happen. So anyways, I think Trump actually does want to get this war out of the way. And even if it means they got to agree to something like somewhat of a ceasefire, there might actually be a ceasefire, guys. And, you know, you could be in cash if you want, but what about giving peace a chance and trying to make some money off of peace? You could try to take a long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. You just saw me take a long on Solana just now. Because if we are going to have peace, why not make some money off of that? These cryptos did get beaten down pretty hard the past few days here. Even the past few months, we've been getting beaten down on these cryptocurrencies. So why not give peace a chance? The problem is that we don't know if we're going to get peace, because, you know, what if Iran does build up their military, build up their forces, and then they actually, you know, launch a nuclear bomb? We still got to get the nuclear materials out of there. It's kind of like, it's really bad. It's like we kind of, to give an analogy, it's like you went to your neighbor's house and you unalived your neighbor because they had a shotgun and they were threatening you, but they never actually attacked you or anything. But then now you gotta deal with your neighbor's sons who also know how to shoot, you know, that shotgun, and you never really got the shotgun. You just eliminated the father of the sons, and now you gotta worry about the sons who will probably grab that shotgun and come after you one day. I feel like that's where we're at right now with, you know, just giving you the best analogy that I can with you know, Iran and the United States. Now we got to worry about, are they going to, you know, say yes to peace now, but then attack us, you know, a year or two later. Anyways, let's see. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. As you warned, Trump is a big manipulator, not a president, a gambler. Today's probably your last chance to sell your bag. What's coming will be terrible for the markets. And then Lorraine says, hey, Bruno, what is coming? And then hey, Bruno says, you don't want to know, it's terrible. Okay. Well, we do want to know. Let us know. Because we're trying to predict where these markets are going to go next, so we can make some money or prevent ourselves from losing money. DZ says, just follow Barron Trump's account. Dude going to make another $200 million shorting and long in the market. Yeah, it seems like the trade to be making, huh? Just, you know, follow Barron Trump and then you'll know what trade to make. Kind of like some people were following what Nancy Pelosi was doing in the stock market, and that's how a lot of people made money, was just watching Nancy Pelosi making money and what trade she was taking. Oh, so I got into that Solana long at like $84 or a little bit below $84, and we're kind of hanging out at $85.12. So I'm a little bit up on that Solana long. Yeah, I'm still up like 3% on it. Damn, this thing actually got to $86 in The last 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, we might get a rip up, guys, if this is what it's gonna be. Let's see the highs for Solana. How much higher could Solana go? I put 95 bucks. I was like, it could probably go up 10 bucks. We saw Solana at like $97 in the middle of March. That was during the war. During the middle of the war, we saw Solana at $97. So for me putting my take profit at $97, that's not too far off for being a worthwhile trade. I would make that a swing leverage trade. It's going to take a few days for it to get to 95 bucks. I don't think it's going to do that tomorrow, but if it does, I mean, wow. If it does do that tomorrow, I'll definitely take a profit, right? If I go back to my my long here on MEXC Exchange, if we go up to $95 with my 20x long, I make about $264 on that one trade alone. I'll be up 236%. Yeah, I think the markets are liking this. This is definitely an Uno reverse that we're getting here in the markets, and you see oil getting punished. Oil now at $94 a barrel, well below $100, and we saw this thing at what, 100? Well, this is showing like it was at $109, but I seen it as high as like 116 on Coinbase Exchange. Oh, we got that nice nasty red candle here on oil. We're breaking right below this 618 golden pocket. It was sitting at $97. The 21 EMA was sitting at $98, so this is getting destroyed right now. I think, you know, if they're really serious about, if Iran actually opens up the Strait of Hormuz, we could see oil probably drop down to $87. Man, maybe I should have had that hedge short in there on the oil. It would have definitely played out. Oh my god. Yeah, you live and you learn. But yeah, if we're not going to hold and sustain $95 here on oil, then we're probably going to head down to $87. This was an area to look out for, only because just looking left, you know, $87 was previous resistance back here in April of 2024. It acted as support and resistance in September 2023 and October 2023. It acted as support and resistance back here in 2022. So $87 is, in my opinion, the next level to look for if $95 doesn't hold here for oil. You can play that, guys. You can play that if you want to. If you want to get into that short on oil, would have been better to short it earlier today. But the way things were going, it was like, we were either going to see oil go below $100 a barrel and they were going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or we were going to see oil probably go up to like 130 bucks, maybe $150, because Trump is over here blowing up people's power plants, and then who knows what Iran was going to do after that. They're probably going to blow up people's power plants and also blow up some oil refineries and stuff like that. DZ said, dude, you sold VVV and you was looking at Solana. You might join me on the Solana. Okay. DZ says, can we get a house tour? Maybe. You want to see the Airbnb that I'm at in Costa Rica? I could probably do that. My TikTok guy is going to probably want to see it too. Let's see if I can do that here. I got my laptop. I think I can do that. I could probably do that. You guys want to... you want a little bit of a house tour? Well, here we are. We're kind of like in like a workspace here. Showing my TikTok guys here. I'm gonna have to hold my selfie stick here and my laptop at the same time. Okay. And I probably should I'm gonna have to flip over into get a better camera here so you can see there we go. You can see me. All right, let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. Okay. So we're getting a little bit of a house tour here. You can see there's well, that's where the Airbnb host is staying at. It's a pretty big property here. Let's try to open up the door here. It did rain, and now I'm getting, see my socks are getting wet now. But, you know, off in the distance there, for my TikTok guys, you can see
San Jose. And for my YouTube guys, you can see San Jose over there in the distance. And let's see, we got a little bit of sunset going on over here. Let's see. But yeah, I figure if I go up here. Okay. I think I might be losing the signal here. Alright. Hopefully I didn't lose too much of the signal. Alright guys, let me just get settled in here. Hopefully I didn't lose my signal for my YouTube guys. You wanted to see a little bit of a house tour there. Asking about the nightlife in Costa Rica. Of course there's nightlife here. Alright, hold on a second. I gotta close this door. Alright. And I should probably hook myself up to the power supply here. Try to get settled in and answer your questions. Alright. Back to the charts here. And let me plug in the power supply. Alright, so back to answering DZ's question here. How much is it to get a house in Costa Rica? You know, I never actually looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like a third of the cost of whatever you were planning on buying in the United States. Because just about everything, like at least house-wise, is like a third of the cost, and salaries are also a third of what you could get. So whatever you do for a job in America, just split that in 1/3, and that's how much you can get paid here in Costa Rica. So the trick to actually doing pretty well is to actually make American money while paying Costa Rican prices. But yeah, you probably, I haven't looked at the real estate, but I know, you know, renting, right, like a 1-bedroom, you could probably, most Costa Ricans, they pay like $500, $600 a month for a 1-bedroom. You can find something decent for like $800 a month, $1,000 a month. You're still getting something even more decent than decent. And then if you want to live a life of luxury, you can find like a 1-bedroom condo for like $1,500 a month. Yeah. If that answers your questions there, DZ. I see Matty Ghost in the chat. Good to see you, Matty Ghost. Let me see. Did I miss any other questions here? And how's my stream going? Is my stream still good on YouTube? I feel like I might have lost the stream there. But let me answer the TikTok guys here. Warren Buffett is 80% out, and you are 100% out. Hey, Bruno was saying he's in cash right now. Maureen says it looks lovely. Thank you for smashing the like button there. Let's see. All right, so I got confirmation that the stream is still good here on YouTube. I was worried because when I was moving around the laptop computer there, I was worried that I was going to lose the Wi-Fi signal. I think it did say something about the signal. And that's when I was like, oh, time to go back to the workspace before I lose the Wi-Fi signal here. Lorraine says, have I been to the beach yet? I haven't been to the beach yet.
I'm in San Jose, which is in the middle of the country. To go to the beach, it's only like an hour away. I'd probably go there with my friend Eddie if I could. You might see Eddie show up on one of these live stream here, guys and gals. You might see Eddie show up. Eddie is trying to get more business for his business. He's a scenic tour operating guy. He's got some scenic tour vans, and he's trying to get more, but he's also trying to get more to justify him getting more trucks and vans for his business. So yeah, you might see me with Eddie, and you might see me and Eddie go to the beach, Maureen. Yeah, and it's about like an hour, probably like an hour and a half to get to the beach. Especially with traffic, it'd probably be like an hour and a half to get to the beach from like San Jose to like Jaco Beach. It would be like probably the closest beach town. And then Manuel Antonio is just another hour south of that. So if you want to go to Manuel Antonio, it's going to probably be like a 2-hour drive, and that's like going over to the Pacific side. And if you want to go to like the Caribbean side, I think it's like another hour and a half, 2 hours to get to that side as well. We're like in the middle of the country right now, and it's just funny. It's like a small country. At least going west to east, it's like you're in the middle of the country, and if you go 1 hour to the west, you're on the Pacific Ocean. If you go, an hour and a half, 2 hours to the east, you're on the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean side. Wait, nothing beats my Jaws scene beach. Oh, that was I think that was Martha's Vineyard. DZ says, you're going to wait until after 5 p.m. to jump into a trade. Just looks too good to be true. You're talking about 5 p.m. your time? It's 5 p.m. here in Costa Rica right now. It's like 5:19 p.m. Eastern. 5:19. I think they're on Mountain Time over here. And let's see. Yeah, what are the time zones here? It's 5. It's 5 here. It's 7:19. So you're talking about like 40 minutes from now. You're waiting for like 40 minutes. And then you want to get into a trade? Okay. I know oil's taking a beating. What is Bitcoin doing again? Bitcoin almost got up to like 72K. Wow. We hit 72K on March 25th. So we're trying to get above those highs right there. Wow, so today was just not a good day to be shorting. The shorts are getting punished today in cryptocurrency world. Also, the longs on oil are getting punished as well. I got punished. I actually got stopped out on my oil longs. I'm not interested in long in oil right now until we hear something else for news development here. But I wouldn't be interested in long in oil until it gets down to like below 90 bucks here. Maybe I would take a shot at it again. You did see me take a shot on Solana. That's the long that I got into. What else would I try to get into? Maybe not Zcash. Zcash already had its little stint here. We probably have to look at crypto bubbles. We'll see what kind of crypto has not received any love. Which crypto took the beating? Took a beating today and this week. DEX maybe? Is DEX worth getting into, or is there something wrong with it? Then you got Algorand. But like DEX and Algorand, they were doing good, like I believe last week. They were like the talk of the town, right? Algo is up 24% this week. Ooh, maybe Siren. Maybe you could try to take a shot on Siren. And then maybe Night and Rain. It rains at night because of the sirens. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a joke. Stablecoin? Is Stablecoin not looking so stable, down 11%? Maybe that might be worth taking a look at. We look at these beaten down cryptos. If what is happening is we're getting a ceasefire here, then these coins might be worth, these ones in the red for the week might be worth taking a shot at for a long. Maybe Uniswap? I'm not sure why Uniswap is down. But man, I'm talking about this and I see these cryptocurrencies in the red. They're now starting to become less red now. See what I'm saying? So I don't know, you just pick your favorite crypto. I feel like you could probably win with either one with just news that we got here of a possible ceasefire. Look at this, the Solana's at $86. I showed you earlier I got into that Solana long. Oil's taking a beating. Yeah, it's even gold and silver are up on the news. Sui up 10%. Sui's like one of the high market cryptos that's actually double digits right now. Farcoin's up 17%. Pepe's up 12%. Pengu. Ooh, River. Maybe River has a chance to be bullish. Should we try to take a chance on River? It's down 9% today. Let's look at the day trading time frames for River right now. You did get a short signal here saying that you should be shorting River. But look, I mean, you know, after the last couple hours here, you got some green showing up here. Seeing some bullish divergence. Is there bullish divergence here? Possible higher low here. Actually, let me pull that back up again. I want to see what the MACD is doing here. MACD showing selling pressure dying down here on River. I might take a long on River, guys. We already got beaten down. And if we're going to be bullish here on crypto again because of a ceasefire, then maybe this is the one to get into. I mean, I already got into Solana, but maybe I instead of adding to my Solana, maybe I can just get into a River long. Buy dot, green buy dot here about an hour ago. Money flow is starting to curve up. Take a look at the 15 minute. Let's see what the 50 minutes doing here. Green buy dot. Money flow creeping up. Momentum's going to the upside. MACD is showing some green. That's fine and dandy. RSI is not overbought on the 15 minute. Just trying to justify if I should get into a long here on River. I'm about to pull the trigger here. Because what I could do is I could put a stop loss right at like $10 or $11 here. The low for the day was $11.02. Now I gotta figure out, I got my stop loss and my entry. Now, where would I take profit? Maybe for the highs back here on Monday. We'll sell this thing at $13. $13.45 maybe. So let's just game plan a long position. Does it make sense? Is there a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio? If we're gonna take it up to like $13.30, the risk reward ratio is 4. If we try to, like, you know, take profit before that, you know, at like $12.87, the risk reward ratio is 3. I think it's worth a long here on River. So there we go. I'm gonna add to my right now up 26% on my Solana long here, and I'm gonna try to do River now here on MEXC Exchange. Zero fees, can't beat that. It's free trading fees. Not gonna cost me anything here to be trading River. So we're gonna put the stop loss at $11 here, and I do not want to trade a 40x leverage on River. Screw that. It's gotta be like 10x or less than that. Let's just try 10x for now. All right, and sure enough, I'll put like $100 of margin into that one. This bad boy, why not? $105 of margin. What was the target again? About $13, maybe $13.30. So we'll just say $13. Be up 137% with $146 of profit, and stop loss at 11. I'll lose $39. I don't like having $40 of potential losses. I might dial down the leverage here a little bit here, guys. I might just, yeah, leverage. I'll probably bring this down to like 5x leverage. So I'll lose out on the profit. I'll only make $73 of profit if we get up to like 13 bucks here. But I'm only gonna lose $19 if we go below 11 bucks here on River. All right, let's do it. All right, I just got filled on a River long. Got in at $11.41. Oh wait, no, 11.42. That 11.41 is the price that it's at right now. But 11.42 with a 5x long on River. Take profit's gonna be 13 bucks. Stop loss is gonna be 11 bucks. I could either make $73 or I could lose 19 bucks. I'm okay with that for this trade. There you go, guys. You saw me pull the trigger on a long on River. Just did it right there. Did some live trading with you guys right there. And I gave you my reasons. You know, River's already gotten beaten down on the daily time frame already. But I saw, did I see? I think I saw some bullish divergence, right? But then on the 1 hour time frame, you know, this could be a potential higher low. If it's not, then whatever, you know, then we go down and I get stopped out. But just trying to play from here to here, right? From here up to like maybe the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. You know, I'm risking 4% to try and get 12%. That's a risk reward ratio of 3.0. I think that's a good risk reward ratio. DZ says Aventus looks good. And then Maureen said Iran just launched missiles at Israel. Oh my god. So that means we don't have a ceasefire. That means we really, oh, okay. So maybe that guy that was saying he's in cash and you know, something bad's gonna happen. Maybe that's what he's talking about there. Oh my god. So here I am trying to long River and trying to long Solana, and we're over here talking about Iran launching missiles at Israel. Well, I mean, maybe Iran is like, we'll open up the Strait of Hamas, but and we'll do peace with the United States. But maybe Iran wants to get their licks in on Israel, so maybe this ends up being just a war between Israel and Iran now at this point. I have no idea. You know, it's crazy trying to trade the markets here. I think it's worth taking a long on River, but we did have DZ saying that Aventus or whatever is looking good right now. So let's take a look at Aventus. See if it's worth getting into a long here. Oh wait, that's not good. I need something better than that. Aventus on Coinbase. Well, it looks like Aventus is already trying to, you know, it already got a little bit of a pump in the last 3 hours here. Let's look at on the daily time frame here. Oh my god. DZ, I don't know about this, DZ. It's still in a downtrend. Why do you think it looks good? Give me your reasons. If it was like making a double bottom, you know, trying to create like a W shape, I'd be like, all right, we're double bottoming here. The only thing I see that's good with Aventus on the daily time frame is you're above the 21 in May. You just did that today. You did that yesterday, but you didn't stay above it. But like here today, you're above it for now. But this is down and to the right. Why would you think Aventus is good? Give me your reasons, DZ. DZ wants to know what meme coins are bullish that we can get into. Have you looked at good old Dogecoin? Maybe Dogecoin. Let's see what Doge is. Before I look at any other meme coin, let's take a look at oh man, Pepe's up 12%, Pangu's up 10%. Dogecoin's up 5% today. Dogecoin was just trading flat for the most part. This could have been a bear flag, but it looks like it's flat for now. Dogecoin might be worth taking a look at. Let's take a look at Pepe. Pepe's up like the highest among everybody else here. I mean, it was going flat and it's being stable for the most part. Pepe kind of almost looks like Dogecoin. Pengu? Even Pengu, the meme coins, they were all looking like they were staying flat for the most part here. Pippin? Oh man. Pippin had like a nasty red candle on last Friday, down 50%. Then it went up 40% the next day. Another 9%, and then it went down 27% yesterday. I would stay away from Pippin unless you are just day trading it and you know how to get in along and plan your stop losses out. Farcoin was like the meme coin for the day, up 17% today. Even better than Pepe. But these coins already had their move up. See, storage coin? Only up 1.9% today. Nah. XLM. Looks like just like all the other meme coins. I'm not sure. You know who's also pretty good in the Meet Damien Discord? DeluxeAlgo actually gives me some good coins to look at, whether they be a long or a short. I think he was telling me to look at Meme Core for a short. And he was telling me about this like a week ago, or last week. But here's the thing, that thing is it's been up and going to the right on a tier though, so today it actually got to like $3, so that didn't really play out too well. Then it was another coin, Useless, and he was trying to tell me to get into Useless for a long. And I believe we looked at that a few days ago here. I think we looked at it like last Friday or something like that, and it was looking pretty good for getting into for a long, because you had like the double bottom potential and you also had bullish divergence here. And now this thing looks like it's trying to do something here today. Yeah, for sure. You're up. How high are you up? You're up 14% today on Useless coin. It all depends on what you're trying to play, but I this is a double bottom play, but yesterday would have been a better day to try to get into Useless coin. You're already up 14% today. Where would you put your stop loss? You have to put your stop loss below, either today's lows or a few days ago. And you would have to dial down on your leverage just to stay in your trade there. But when we were looking at Useless coin, this thing had a risk reward ratio of 4.2. Isn't that similar to like my the river long? I think we should be looking at river, guys, for a long. I mean, you saw me get into it. River. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame for river. Like my risk reward ratio is 3.0, but if we can get back to where we were yesterday at $13.45. And this risk reward ratio becomes almost 4.0. Yeah, you get a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. But the price is steadily creeping down here. Maybe this could be your opportunity. You could probably take a long on river where I put my stop loss. So my stop loss is your entry. But man, is there any more updates about that Iran launching missiles at Israel right now? Shine Legends says, can I check Pendo? I can probably do that. Yeah. How long have I been live for? I think it's been a while since I've been live, huh? I've been live for about 1 hour and 40 minutes is what this is saying. I thought I was going to be able to do a 4-hour live stream. I don't know. We already got the resolution that we're looking for. You know, Trump is agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. But I didn't hear Iran say that. That was Pakistan, which is being the mediator, saying that, you know, Trump wants to suspend, you know, give 2 weeks for them to open up the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran doesn't follow through on that, then maybe everything that we're doing tonight is going to get blown out of the water. So maybe we have to go back to long in oil and shorting stocks and crypto. Let's look at Pendle here. That was another request that we got from TikTok here. Did you want to look at it on the daytime or the hourly chart here? You want the long-term picture, the bigger picture, or do you want just the day trading picture here? Pendle currently trading at $1.07. Currently up 6% today. We only got like 22 minutes left in this daily candle here. And there's going to be a new candle showing up here on the chart. You are very bearish. Oh my God. Bitcoin is at 72,600. I'm getting a notification for that right now. Pendle, you're below the 20-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and you're also below the 21 EMA. You are very bearish here on Pendle. Okay. The only saving grace is that I do see my DeluxeAlgo indicator is sniffing out some bullish divergence here. So let's see if that's the case here with the RSI. Here on the RSI, you can kind of see, like, you know, this red line, you are making possibly a higher low here after you just made lower lows on price. So bullish divergence, right? Buyers are stepping up and trying to buy Pendle at these low prices here. Okay. Here on the MACD, anything good here on the MACD? Nothing good yet besides you again the blue line curving up. That's the beginning of trying to see higher prices here. I want to see the blue line actually cross the orange line to the upside. You'll get a MACD crossover to the upside, kind of like you saw back here. MACD crossover to the upside, and when you get that MACD crossover to the upside, you're going to get green buying pressure showing up, and that's really good to see because that means you have a few good days of higher prices there. You're not getting that yet, but maybe this could be the beginning of something good and special here for Pendle. So maybe Pendle might be going up to higher prices here, guys. Yeah, because last time you got a MACD crossover to the upside was around Valentine's Day, and it sold off a little bit, but then you climbed up, and you did make higher highs at some point here. You sold off, and then you climbed up again. Barely, nothing crazy, but yeah, I think you're just waiting for that, you know, MACD crossover to the upside here, just to confirm that you are bullish here on Pendle. But Pendle's got a lot of work to do. You got to go to that 21 EMA at $1.15. That should be your first target for the day traders out there. For the swing traders, or the long-term investors, you're just trying to take profit at this 50-day moving average at $1.50. That green line right there is where I would take profit on any spot bags or you know, any swing trade, leverage trade longs. I would take profit there because that's almost like a 50% move up from where we are right now. Just look at that real quick here. If we actually do get up to that green line, maybe not 50%, but 40% is close enough, right? It's pretty decent gain. Oh boy, Lorraine says, oh, shooting back up. What a crazy day we're getting, a crazy night. I knew it was going to be a volatile night. Oil at $95 a barrel. We did say that, you know, we could see oil, continue dropping down to $87 is where I would have took a cautionary long on oil. But it looks like we're getting the Uno reverse right now. How low did we go? We went down to $91 here. $91.70 here. So basically, Trump is like, hey guys, I'm willing to not blow up your power plants. And Iran's like, F you. We don't give a damn. We're going to shoot Israel now. That's pretty much what I'm getting out of tonight's action today. Yeah, don't forget to share the live. Lorraine's letting you guys know. Don't forget to share the live here, guys, with your best friends who are also paying attention to the markets here. We're looking at the charts. We're looking at oil. We're looking at Bitcoin. Trying to figure out what cryptos to get into. Bless me, I got to sneeze there for a second. Man. So what is the news? Let's look at the news here again, guys. Iran and Israel. If I just type that in, what's going to happen here? Trump announces 2-week ceasefire in Iran war. Iran and U.S. agree to a conditional ceasefire and safe passage. Did they actually agree to it? Iran and Israel agreed to a conditional ceasefire. So it's Iran and U.S., but not Iran and Israel. So Israel is still gonna get smoked on by Iran over here. Donald Trump says he agrees to a proposed 2-week ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran if shipping traffic is allowed to move through the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran's foreign minister says Iran will agree to the end in fighting if attacks against Iran are halted. The U.S. president has set a deadline tonight. Pakistan says they've been acting as a mediator. They called on Trump to extend his deadline for 2 weeks to allow diplomacy to run its course. The Pope has said that threats directed at Iran's population are unacceptable. The UN Secretary General has also said that is deeply troubled by the rhetoric. In Iranian state media report, 2 people have been killed after a strike on a bridge in Kashan, hours after Israel warned Iranians not to take trains for the sake of security. So that's probably what's going on. Iran's trying to get revenge on Israel for what they did a couple hours ago, attacking Iranian trains here. But let me see. Let me just type in Iran launches missiles, maybe, and see if that pops up on. All right, Iran launches missiles at Israel. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Damage to cargo island considerably obstruct Iran's ability to export out. Where's the missile attacks here? I thought this was going to show me news about the missiles. What the hell? They lied to me? Let me get to the news section here. Oh man. White House confirms that Israel is part of the ceasefire. Iran launches missiles minutes later as an FU to Israel. Israel is part of the 2-week ceasefire announced earlier Wednesday. A senior White House official told CNN. The confirmation came roughly an hour and a half after Trump's deadline for Iran to reopen the strait had expired. The disclosures broadened the scope of Trump's Truth Social announcement. Pakistan secured this pause at the 11th hour. Iran has not publicly confirmed terms. See, that's the problem here. As of the time reporting, Iran has not publicly confirmed the acceptance of the ceasefire or its terms. Throughout Tuesday, Iranian officials dismissed Trump's threats as delusional and gave no public indication that they were prepared to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. on US terms. However, the 2-week pause, if it holds, it will push any final deadline to around April 22nd. Okay. So we're still up in the air. There's no confirmation from Iran, and then Iran launching missiles is not a good sign. So maybe Iran is also day trading oil, and they're like, oil's dropping, guys. Why don't we buy now and launch some missiles at Israel? Take advantage of some longs on oil. I'm joking, but who knows? They might be day trading in Iran too. Try to take advantage of the markets here. I don't mean to demean or belittle the seriousness of war, but I mean, we have heard, after the dust settles, crazy things where, there are people taking advantage of, their positions of power and enriching themselves by putting money to work in the markets and then going ahead and doing something like launching a missile. So I wouldn't put it past. If you think America and Trump and Nancy Pelosi can do inside trading, what makes you think like Iran can do inside trading and say yes, we'll agree to a ceasefire, watch the price of oil drop, and then buy oil and then launch missiles at Israel? If it can be done, then it probably will be done. Oh wow, we got a little bit of a rainbow here, off to the right here. My YouTube guys won't be able to see it, but my TikTok guys, I could probably show you guys here. It just got done raining here in Costa Rica. Kind of see like the rainbow right there. I don't know if you're able to see it or not. But there's a rainbow out there in the distance. Let's see. Hey, Bruno says, how much did you started trading? I guess your real question is how much does it take to start trading? These cryptocurrency exchanges, you can trade like with like $5 or $10 of margin. I know some people that do trades for like $5 or $10, and they'll do like 100x leverage, and with $10, 100x leverage turns into $1,000 worth of buying power. But I think, I think most people start with like $500 to $1,000 in their day trading account. And then I've seen some people put like $5 or $10,000 into their account, which I've done in the past myself. But you don't really need too much money. The whole trick and goal of day trading is to use as little of your money as possible to try and get a percentage gain with a lot of profit, and then take those profits and not have to use a lot of money to get those profits. Like, if you had $100,000, right? If you had $100,000 and your asset went up 10%, you're gonna make $10,000, right? Okay. But if you don't have $100,000 and you have only $1,000, okay, and you use 100x leverage, it's almost as if like you had $100,000 of buying power. So you can still, take your $1,000 account, use that 100x leverage to buy $100,000 worth of whatever, Bitcoin or whatever. And if your Bitcoin goes up 10%, you're gonna make $10,000 on that 100x leverage using $1,000 of margin. Trading with $100 is a waste of time. Might be a waste of time for you, but Bruno, I'm not sure what country you're in, but $100 is a lot of money to some people outside the United States and Canada. So you can't really say $100 is a waste of time. For you, it might be. You might be in America where $100 is like, the cost of filling up your gas tank. But like in other countries, like I can tell you this, like where I'm in Costa Rica, like $100. That's like 2 days of working for most people here in Costa Rica. They make like $50 or $60 a day, and to make $100, that's like almost like 2 days worth of working. So you should be careful with what you say, because my audience here is international, and $100 is a lot to a lot of people. But also, $100 is little to some people as well, so I get it. So you just trade what you need to trade with, Bruno. I showed you I got into the leverage long here with River and Solana, right? And I used $100 of margin, right? I used like $105 of margin here on River. And yeah, I'm in the green on both trades here, which is nice to see. But, you know, with my 5x leverage long on River, using $100 of margin, that becomes like $500 worth of buying pressure. And, you know, I could be up about $73. $73. If we only go up to like 13 bucks, I'll be up $73. That's maybe that's not enough for you, but it's enough for a lot of people here in Costa Rica. But that's not the only trade that I'm in either. So I'm also in this $112 of margin here with Solana, 20x leverage long. And if Solana climbs up from where we are right now to $95, I'll be up $264 on that trade. That's like what? That's like a week's pay here in Costa Rica. That's what some people make in 1 week in Costa Rica. For you, that might be what you make in 1 day. But here in Costa Rica, that's nothing to sneeze at right there. Hey, Bruno's, I guess he's a baller. He laughs at people that only have $100 to play with. I've seen other experienced day traders, and they only use like $100 of margin, or even $50 or $30 of margin, and they just use like 100x leverage. DZ says, what's the most bullish coin right now? Did you say that like a while ago? And DZ says you saw the 21 EMA. The most bullish coin that I saw in my watch list right now was Farcoin. Farcoin's up 19% right now. 19% for the day. That is your most bullish coin, is Farcoin. Maybe there's something else that might be bullish. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something else that's doing better than Farcoin. Let's not forget, Zcash is up 29% today. That's the most bullish coin, I guess. Oh wait, no, I take that back. I'm looking at the weekly. No, Zcash is still up 27% for today. So Zcash is your most bullish coin. And then your most bullish meme coin would be Farcoin at this moment in time. Wow, look at that. Oil's still climbing here. Now we got $96 barrel oil here. Let's get back in that, see the 50-minute chart. Just mind the lines here, but those lines are actually pretty important. We're actually getting back into the golden pocket area here at $96, $97 here for oil. After threatening going down to the 0.5 retracement, we're now climbing up to like $97 here. I also got some red lines here that were areas of previous support and resistance. Let's get back into the daily chart here. But we do got the golden pocket that looks like we're climbing back up to here for oil. And those previous lines of resistance, $95 and $87. You can see these red lines here. These are previous areas of resistance that I marked on the chart here, where we had resistance at 87 bucks. We also had a resistance here at $97 here. And yeah, you can see that right here again. $97 was acting as support back here in April of 2022. In March of 2022, when the war in Ukraine was breaking out, that was an area that I spotted here as potential support and resistance here at $95. So I'm not quite sure what to make out of what happened tonight, guys. Here we were on the verge of, just summarizing things up. We were on the verge of Donald Trump blowing up power plants in Iran. Then, like an hour ago, he decided not to do that and do a ceasefire deal with Iran. It sounds like Pakistan was the mediator, and we haven't had full confirmation from Iran that that's the case. But then, like after that, Iran decided to launch rockets and missiles at Israel. So that kind of jeopardizes the ceasefire, because the United States said that Israel is part of the ceasefire deal. So I'm not sure if we have a ceasefire or not. Maybe Iran decided, okay, we won't attack the United States and we won't attack ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, but Israel is still we're not done with Israel yet. And they're gonna still attack Israel. So if that's the case, if it's just Iran attacking Israel, then it's basically what we had last year. Israel and Iran were attacking each other, and the Strait of Hormuz was open. So if the Strait of Hormuz is open and it's just Israel and Iran attacking each other, then I guess that's still okay, and we can still be bullish on crypto and stocks, and oil is probably gonna continue dropping down on us. However, I'm just trying to game plan this out with you guys. However, if it's Iran is attacking Israel and they don't give a crap about this ceasefire deal because they want nobody to attack them, and they still want to hold on to their nuclear materials and stuff like that. And if Iran is still attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz that don't agree to their $2 million toll or bribe, then oil is going to go back up again, and stocks and crypto are going to suffer. So I don't know what to make out of tonight. It's kind of positive, but we don't know for sure. And Iran kind of gave us a little bit of a justification that we really can't be too sure, because if they didn't launch missiles and rockets, then there was hope for higher prices for crypto and stocks and oil going down. But because they launched missiles at Israel, we gotta scratch our heads like, all right, what's really going on here, guys? Is it just Israel and Iran are just gonna trade blows with each other? They're attacking each other while the Strait of Hormuz is open up again, or is Iran just saying F you to everybody and the Strait of Hormuz? I don't know. This is why I want a confirmation from Iran themselves. I think we'll get it maybe by tomorrow morning. So I'd be careful trading the markets, to be honest with you, tonight, because you could try buying the lows of oil right now, but it might go lower. You could try buying cryptocurrencies right now, and they might go lower because Iran and Israel might be attacking each other, and who knows, if we hear that Iran actually attacks another U.S. military base after we just got a supposedly ceasefire deal, then for damn sure that ceasefire is over, and it never even got a chance to even begin. So I just say be careful trading. So still volatile out there. I got into a long on River, a long on Solana. Those are some, supposedly I got in at good entries. We're in the green over there. And I'm just going to see, you know, wait to see how this plays out here. But sometimes that happens during ceasefire deals, is that if they weren't expecting a ceasefire deal, if they were expecting to go to war tonight, they might have popped off shots anyways towards Israel. Like, that might have been Iran's game plan, was, all right, they're going to blow up our power plants, well, we're going to attack Israel in response to that. And somebody probably in Iran was like, well, we only signed a deal with the United States. We didn't sign a deal with Israel. So they probably thought it was okay to launch rockets at Israel. And that's throwing things off a little bit here in the markets. That's my take on it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Francisco Santos says, my $100 feels like $10. Yeah, that's what leverage trading could do to you sometimes. You gotta be careful. Totally get it, totally get it. But guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight's live stream. We're kind of still in limbo land because we got a ceasefire, or we think we got a ceasefire deal between the United States and Iran, but we're not sure if Israel's part of that. And Israel just got attacked by Iran, so we don't know if Iran is thinking that the deal is only between them and the United States, or maybe Iran doesn't give a crap and they're not going to do the deal, and they're letting us know, like, you know, bring it on. They're still trying to fight a war here. So kind of tough, guys. Kind of tough. But I think, you know, just closing thoughts here on Bitcoin. If we are going to be bullish on Bitcoin, we'll see how we handle ourselves at 73K. That was an area to be looking out for. Then we got to see how we handle ourselves at 76K, which is what the top was back in March here. And then we also got the 50-day moving average sitting at 76K. So I think 76K could possibly be a double top if we're going to, you know, get rejected off that 50-day moving average. But it should be an area where we're going to at least get an initial rejection, I think. So 76K, which we're only about $4,000 away from that. But I think 76K is your next target to the upside, besides 73K. So 73K, 76K for my day traders out there taking longs. You know, if you're already in profit, you're doing pretty well, I would take profit at 73K. I'm not sure if we're going to get up to 76K, but that is another area to try to take some profit if you haven't done so already on your Bitcoin longs. And I don't think I need to give you downside targets, but downside targets, like, we could come right back to 67K one more time and test it for support. So we shall see, we shall see. So yeah, it's good news for the U.S. and it's seldom news as of now, unless, you know, if Iran starts attacking U.S. military bases, which I can't imagine them doing so, because it sounds like, you know, Trump wants to do a deal and stop attacking them. But I think right now Iran is trying to attack Israel because they don't have a deal with them. Or they don't think there's a deal with them. But yeah, the White House said it was supposed to be U.S. and Israel having a ceasefire with Iran and not just U.S. and Iran. Anyways, yeah, guys, tomorrow I'm going to try to do a live stream. I'm going to try to do a TikTok horizontal stream where you guys can see my face and also see me, see the charts as well. You can see my face and also see the charts. And then my YouTube, guys, I might do a vertical live stream tomorrow. I'll be using my phone while TikTok gets to see me on the computer. Alright, guys, good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you get into. I got into a long on Solana and River. And that's what I'm doing as of now for tonight. Alright? Take care and good luck trading and investing in whatever you decide to do, guys. Take care.